there, yarn lovers, it's Gary, and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on Vancouver Island in Canada. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those of you who celebrate summer solstice, it happened this morning, early in the wee hours. It is Wednesday, June the 21st, 2023. I want to wish you all a happy summer. It is video number 189, and I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. As the title suggests down below, I'm going to be talking about an order that I made from KnitPicks. If you have not heard of KnitPicks, it's an online store which is situated in the United States, and they ship to me via the postal service, USPS, into Canada, changing over hands to the Canadian Postal Service, which is a delightful way of receiving yarn for us Canadians, because we don't then have to pay for any cash on delivery or any shipper fees or brokerage fees. So I really like KnitPicks for that. Recently, I've discovered a lot of other of my favorite yarn stores have been changing up their shipping, and I'm finding it's becoming slightly more expensive to get my yarn from the United States. But let's talk KnitPicks, and let's talk what Hank's wearing in a little bit. I'm going to be showcasing the item that he's wearing here to talk about like what we can do with these yarns that I've purchased from KnitPicks. It's all to do with minis and mini Hanks. I've purchased some collections of their mini sets, and I have so many leftover partial Hanks, which are kind of great to use in mini projects. So I've got a list of things that I want to talk about with my mini projects. And if you're happening across this channel for the very first time, I want to welcome you. And I set this channel up to talk about all of my yarny adventures. That's in knit, crochet. I do dabble in a little bit of hand dyeing of yarn, nothing on a huge scale. Yeah, so, and I talk about where I purchase my items from, like my yarn, my tools and my crafts. And so if that kind of thing is of interest to you, please stick around. So to the subscribers who have come back and my dear friends who have commented on the last video, I want to say thank you. I got some really great feedback on where I can go to plan out my Tunisian adventure in crochet. I purchased myself a few hooks, and people were talking to me about like where I can go to get some it's called the simple stitch in Tunisian crochet, and other things that I could make. So that was all great. Thank you so much for all the suggestions, and also all the comments about my new addition to the family, Little Pixel, our dog. She's a Wheaten Terrier, and she has a little bit of poodle in her, so they're kind of combine the names together to create a new kind of breed of dog, and it's called a Woodle. I know it's kind of strange how they do all of that mix and matching and then changing the names and all that sort of thing, but she's growing so fast and we're really enjoying her. Sometimes she is a little bit of a handful, just the toilet training and all that sort of wonderful crate training stuff, obedience, and the biting is the next thing that we're going to sort of like work on. But I've got some photographs at the end, and we just adore her. She's wonderful. And I'll push all of those photographs and stuff to the end so that we can talk about the yarn first, and then you can enjoy those little clips. So, KnitPicks. This order was made May the 2nd, 2023. And I received it probably around 2 weeks ago. So it took maybe around for them to package it and send it to me, all up 2.5 to 3 weeks. And it's been with me for another 2 to 3 weeks. So let's take a look at what I got. I did have a coupon. I found it online, and it provided me with an extra 20% off of the price in its entirety. And some of these items were on discount as well. And I'll start with how it arrived. It came in this box here. And as I mentioned, I was more interested in the little mini sets, but I also purchased some other things that were on sale that I'll get to as well. Okay, let's start by looking at what we have here with my price point. all in US currency as well as the yarn. So I got a few of these packs here. It's the mini Stroll pack, and it's all fingering weight yarn. So if you're looking to sample what KnitPicks has in their collections of Stroll fingering weight, you can get these packs, and if you like a few of the colors, you can also get them then in 100-gram hanks. So I thought that was a nice way of reviewing all of the styles of yarn. So I'll tell you a little bit about these hanks. I believe that there are 20-gram hanks and there's 5 of them, so it makes up 100 grams. And I gotta use my magnifying glass, thank you, Karen. This is called Iceberg, the set, and it includes 1 hank of each, which is pearlescent tonal, Yeti hand painted, frozen Stroll tonal, Pluto hand painted, and Walters? It's either Walters or Walrus hand painted. It has 462 total yards and 100 grams for the whole 5 hanks. Each of the hanks has 92 yards or 20 grams in each. It is considered a one weight or fingering weight yarn. You can machine wash this and tumble dry it. And the contents of it is, where are you? Here we go. It is 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. It is a yarn that is produced in Peru. So those are the colors there. I absolutely love them. And I'm going to be thinking of projects to work up all of these minis. The price point of it before the 20% discount, although it was discounted on the site when I purchased it, it was $13.99 US, and then with my 20% off, it was probably somewhere around the $11.20 mark or the $11 mark. So a really good purchase. And I'm going to leave it in this plastic case so it keeps it nice and fresh. The next one that I have here is called Terranium. And that's what the pack looks like if you want to take a screenshot. And these are the colors here. I really love this set. This is probably my second favorite set, because it does have hints of green in there, and I absolutely love it. So let's read about what the colors that you can choose, that you get a sampling of in Terranium. It includes a hank of, is it Walrus hand painted again, the same one as the previous one. It's called Base Camp hand painted, Eucalyptus tonal, Celery seed hand painted, and Kiwi tonal. Same specs as the last set, and this one was a little bit more pricey. The Terranium was not on sale when I purchased it, so I did get my 20% discount off the figure, but it was selling for $15.99. Again, lovely colors. We're getting close to the one that is my favorite, but this pack here, look at that beautiful, strong, vibrant color there. Very, very rich. This one is called Sunset. That's it if you want the screen grab. Now, let's take a look at what the names of these minis are called. It is Pansy Tonal, Cardinal Tonal, Wine Tasting Tonal, Heartfelt Tonal, and Poppy Field Tonal. Absolutely love this set. This is my favorite set here. That one there. And this one is called Wildflowers. Some of these wildflowers would go nicely in with the previous one that I just showed you, Sunset. And the colors in this set are Blue Violet, High Tea, Frozen, Poppy Field, and Eucalyptus. I would agree on all fronts of those naming conventions. Really like them. And that one was $13.99 as well, before the 20% came off. This one here is my last set that I got. And this is more of the neutral variety. It's called Coastal. And this one is got a combination of pearlescent, which we had in the first one as well, mocha, thunderhead, train station, and Inverness. So beautiful, beautiful neutral colors. I really like them a lot. And that one as well was $13.99. The rest I got were, because these were on sale, and I really like the Hawthorn fingering weight yarn. These colors I thought would go well to pair with the minis if I was going to do a fade or hold two together, that I would like to have a series of other yarns in fingering weight that I could use as a base color. And that's the Hawthorn fingering weight label there. And a little bit about this yarn. It is in the color called Kerns, K-E-R-N-S. It is 357 yards, 100 grams in the hank. And this has a more kettle dyed feel to it. So it's got tonals of the color that's sort of in deeper form and then more of a faded form. And I really love that technique. Fingering weight 1, or a rate of 1, 80% superwash fine Highland wool, 20% polyamide. It is machine washable in cold water, and you can tumble dry this on low. It is a yarn that is made in, does it tell me? No. Oh, made in Peru. And I do like this color, Kerns. It does have a nice neutral tint to it, but I'm getting vibes here of purple nature and grayish purple. I really like that color. A little bit scratchy, a little bit itchy. It does actually soften up a little bit in the wash because I've used the Hawthorn fingering before, and I really like it. I give it maybe a 3.5 out of 5 for softness factor, and it does have that wool kind of feel and smell to it, so really like that. Now this yarn was $9.79 before I got my 20% discount off of it, so it was close to around, say, $8 in US currency. The next one I got was this one here, which is also a kettle dyed yarn, same variety. It's the fingering weight. It's called Skyline, so it has the grayish colors to it, and I'm going to say this one has more of a kind of a blue tinge, slightly green maybe. Yeah, maybe the teal factor is in this one a little more. So that one again, another one that I was thinking of using as a base color for all of these vibrant minis. And my last one is, I have this color in my stash that I was thinking of doing the dotted rays in, and I was thinking I might possibly need another hank to do the larger dotted rays, which is the Stephen West shawl. And this one here is called Poseidon, and that's it there. So it's a nice kind of green blue color. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite colors. So those are the three that I got together, and all of these hanks were being sold at $9.79. With the discount, I was probably getting them for around $8 US. I thought that was a steal. My last thing that I got was some sock yarn that I'm thinking of maybe making some socks. I do have this sock brand in my stash in a couple of colorways, but I really liked this colorway and they were having a sale at the time that I purchased, so around early May, and it's the Felici yarn. Here, I'm holding that one upside down, there we go. And it's wonderfully soft. This yarn would probably rate maybe 4.5 out of 5 for a beautiful soft sock. And what can I tell you? It's called Arcade Afternoon. And I got 2 of them, so I could do maybe 2, like 1 per sock, and see how far I go up the leg with it. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the ingredients here and details. So it is a fingering weight yarn, it's classified number 1, and the content is 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. You can machine wash this in cold and tumble dry on low. It is saying here, recommending, is that a knitting needle? Hang on, where's my, let me just look, it's so tiny. Okay, yes, it's a knitting needle size of 1 to 3. I guess that's US size recommendation. And the crochet hook is a BE. And this one, I don't know where it's made. Is it made in Italy? So in this 50-gram ball, I'm getting 218 yards and made in Italy. So that's correct. Really like those colors. So the discount that they were giving on the sale price at the time I purchased it was $4.19 per ball. And with my 20% off, it probably jumped down to maybe around just over $3.20 US. And I really thought that that was a great price for those Felici balls. So that is the whole order. I'll give you the shipping. Actually, the shipping was included in the purchase because I had spent over a certain figure. So I got $0 here for shipping, and the discount that I received on all of those items was $21.94. I thought that was a great deal, and the subtotal before the discount was $109. So I actually paid $92 for the yarn. And I thought that was a great price, and no shipping, no cash on delivery, and no brokerage fees for a third-party courier service. So I thought that was fantastic. What I want to talk about in the next part of this video is what to do with all these minis. Now, you don't necessarily have to buy a mini set, because if you've got leftover yarn from hanks and projects that you didn't need the full hank on, and you've got like 20 grams left, there's your mini set basically from your own leftovers and your own scrap stash. So, but I couldn't pass up this KnitPicks discount that they had on these wonderful packs with that 20% off as well. Just couldn't pass it up. So I wanted to get a handful of the sets that I absolutely love. And that's why I'm coming now to talk to you of what Hank is wearing here. And it is a scarf that I knitted up maybe around 1.5 years ago. It's to the pattern called the Adventuring Scarf, and it is by Amber O'Brien. I'll leave it down below in the description box, as with everything that I do mention here in the video. If you're looking for more information or a link, just go down in the description box and there you'll find whatever it is that you're interested in looking up. So the Adventuring Scarf is, I'll just take it off, Hank, so you can have a look. I used maybe 50-gram leftovers, and I had made my own fade. So I had 50 grams of this kind of, it's like a jade green, and then 50 grams of something in the middle here, which was a multicolored yarn, and then into this chestnut color. So I actually blended, and I could possibly do that with my with my mini hanks as well. So one thing that I can suggest in the adventuring scarf, if you're interested in using a mini set and you want to combine something like a base color with it. So for instance, I choose my hawthorn here to hold it together with the mini. I could blend in a consistent base color with all the minis by holding it together and then having a softer blend or softer transition through each of the mini sets. I thought that would be a nice idea and a great pattern to do it with. Or what I could do is do a mini hank, figure out that maybe one repeat of the garter stitch and then the eyelet rows for this pattern would be one mini skein, and then the next garter stitch and eyelet would be my base. So I would actually be striping, alternating the base and another color mini back and forth. So that might be a nice way of introducing the colors in the mini set as well in a knit pattern like the adventuring scarf. So the other things that I'm going to mention to you are some other knit and crochet patterns. I'll just put that down there in the box. I have made this cowl here, which is scraps, but also could be minis. And this is a knitted ripple scarf in garter stitch. Now the tutorial that I followed was a fiber spider tutorial, and I'll include that also in the description box. It's a really nice, soft and squishy knit pattern. And again, some other knit ideas that I had for minis was this honeycomb cowl. Now, I didn't follow a tutorial to do this actual cowl, but I did find somewhere online, I can't recall where it was, where it gave me the instructions on how to knit the honeycomb pattern, and then I just created a cowl out of it. But again, something like the consistent base color here could be used for the framing, and then you use your 20-gram mini skeins to do all of the banding on the inside. I'll just turn it inside out so you can see it. And each of those are around 10 to 15 grams. But also, if you were going to make it a longer infinity style scarf where you could wrap it a few times, you would then use all of your 20 grams. So yeah, that's the inside of it. And again, the outside is that style. Another version of that technique is I've used a latte cake here to frame it, and these are the minis or the leftovers that I used in the banding, or the colors that wash in the background of the frames. So it's a really neat idea to use your minis. Crochet, I have a few things of crochet as well. Minis could be used, I'm showing you the Andreas fault there in the join that's going right down the middle. But if you were to make a cowl out of, it's a granny stitch cowl. I was just looking to see what it was, 3 double crochets and 2 double crochets, because what I've done is I've played with thicker and thinner yarns in this cowl, and where the yarn is thicker I've only done 2 double crochets, and where the yarn is thinner I've done 3. So that's another idea to use your minis in a granny stitch cowl like that. Another one here, another cowl that you could do with your mini skeins is this one here. Oh, that's really vibrant in the color. I actually adapted a pattern that was done by Mikey on the Crochet Crowd, and it was called, I can't remember what the stitch was called, but it was a baby blanket, and it used color work, like a mosaic style color work like this. I created mine in the round, so I didn't have to do a flat panel and then seam it together. I actually figured out how to create it in the round so it's seamless. And you could do your minis with a consistent color, like a base color, and just band it like these are. So I'll just show you the inside. That's it there. Yeah, so that's a really nice pattern to use your minis with or your scraps. And the last thing that I'm going to touch base on to show you before I jump into talking about some other assets that I've got down below on what you can use for minis is this labor of love. I was very addicted to this piece. I worked on it for 5 months and I couldn't put it down. I was crocheting this wonderful blanket. It's called the Postcard from Sweden. It has duotone granny squares, which I had to stitch then together after blocking them. And this originally was a quilt made from fabrics cut and sewn together. The organization or group called the Button Ship created a crocheted style granny square version of this with patterns, and I'll link that down below if you're interested in finding out more about how this was created. And I absolutely love it. I love looking at this blanket. It cheers up any room that it's in. It's quite fun and playful. So that was the last project that I wanted to show you from my collection of mini skein or scrappy projects. And I have put together something special for you for those people who use Ravelry. I have linked down below in the description box a collection of patterns that I think in crochet and knit would work for mini skeins or for scrappy leftovers. So if you want to go across and have a look. Now these patterns, they're not identifying with specifically using scraps or mini hanks, but I think that they could translate easily into projects that use those types of changing up of color, or maybe color blending or fading, as what was mentioned previously. So let me know if you've done any of the patterns that are in the collection, if you can peruse it and see it. And if not, I would love to hear what your projects were that you had done last using your scraps, or whether you had purchased a special mini advent and what you made with it. So I'd love to get some inspiration and find out whether I can add to the list of things, of ideas that I would love to use my KnitPicks mini hanks with. So thank you so much. And I'm now going to leave you with some photographs of Pixel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.